Hello ladies and welcome to the SU-101 review, the Toilet Mark II, aka the Super Toilet. So, let's look at the armor. First of all, you can see that the armor has improved quite a bit. It's still 90, but it's better sloped. It's still not very good though. Most guns at this tier can't pen you. Guns with 150 pen might struggle, but you can't really angle this too much to be able to bounce like KV-1S guns. The superstructure, a bit different story here. It's still not very good though. The only things this is really gonna bounce might be the 175 penetration KV-1S's guns, but anything with more than 190 penetration will pen this. The gun mantlet is finally made out of Stalin on this line as well, which is nice and gives some extra protection, but overall the tank's armor is kinda crap. The only thing you can really balance with in tier 8 or 9 or 10 games is really the gun mantlet. So side armor, crap. Back armor, crap. Top armor, crap. So yeah, let's look at what they've done to the actual toilet itself. So as you see, there's many upgrades. The tank is smaller than the previous one, so you only need one step to get in the toilet. Then you have previously had the towel here. The towel is still in here, but it's concealed, so it doesn't get wet if it's raining outside. And the biggest upgrade of all is these water canisters on the side, so you can actually flush your toilet. That is such a great and advanced tactic now. It's so good. Whatever, fuck this shit, let's get into the replay. So there we go, playing on Fisherman's Bay. And so what is this tank? It's still shit. Let's be honest here. This tank is fucking shit. It's only good at one thing, which is camping, and it still does it worse than any other tank destroyer. Because to make use of this gun, which is 100mm, basically it's the same kind of gun that the T-54 gets with 218 penetration, but unlike the T-54, this tank actually has decent aiming time and 0.36 accuracy. But decent aiming time on paper. Let's see. Look how long this tank aims when you step. Look at that aiming time. Not maybe only now. Alright, I moved my gun around there a bit, but I slowed down before I stopped to aim properly. So, to take a shot from this tank when you stop moving, you need at least 4 to 5 seconds to actually take an aim shot on something. If you want to take a risk to miss, it's also fine, because the reload is very short. It's like 5 point something second. No, well yeah, 5.8 or something like that. It's close to 6 second reload for 320 alpha, which is not bad at all. But the thing with this tank is, it's only good for camping, and when you camp, you usually don't get to unload your shot after shot after shot. If you're camping, you should usually get like 1 or 2 shots, so I dislike this tank. I think it's really bad for trying to carry a game. I think it's really bad for anything, really. Guns with fast reload are really nice for tanks that have turret, that have gun depression, that have all the nice things that are really helping with the fast rate of fire. Here, I'm just looking for opportunities and trying to shoot. Like, again, I got 1 shot. I missed my second shot, but to be honest, that's a pretty bad shot in the first place. I still took the risk, but with any other tier 8 tank destroyer, I would have done way more damage there. But instead, I didn't do way more damage, because it's this gun, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. Here, I'm struggling with my gun depression like mad. I know this Panther is tunneling like crazy, but I'm still struggling with my gun depression. Now he's shooting in the move. And you see the DPM is quite nice. When you get to unload into close range, DPM is pretty nice. And 1 shot left into him. I really don't want to trade with the Panther 2 though. Now, since he just bounced, I decided to fire, and obviously the last shot is a critical hit, and I decided to pull out. It's not worth to trade my health. I probably should have just stayed there, but I really didn't want to get focused by the M44, so I decided to play a bit more safe and try to move off without getting RT to shit. So how can you play this tank? Well, obviously you can camp and hope for the best. You can't carry teams by camping. You're just gonna be a random person, generic player number 3 that is sitting at the back and sniping. There's not much you can do to influence the game's outcome at all when you camp. When you don't camp, you can try to go for spotting. Tank has decent view range, plus that with binos, and you have a reasonably mobile scout. that is only good obviously for passive scouting, not for active scouting. That would be kind of silly in this tank. But still, in some maps this can be really useful. On this map it can be good, but not this time. I didn't play aggressive enough for that. And Malinovka is a great example how to get good games with this. Just sit in a bush and spot your enemies and hold your fire if your enemies are too close, and obviously fire them if they're not too close. It trades really well against lower tier tanks. Like for instance, the T-150 is a really nice prey. All the tier 6 heavy tanks that doesn't have too much penetration are really great for you to kill, because they can't really pen you and you can kill them in like 3 shots, and that doesn't take more than 10 seconds. Well, it does take a bit more than 10 seconds, but not more than 15, so that's still good enough. Look at that aiming time. You turn your tank and then you have to aim for so long to actually get something like a shot on anybody. T-29 is pulling his ass back out, so I can aim that at least. So, equipment wise, obviously the choice is gun length drive, because the aiming time even on paper seems fine, 2.1 seconds. In real life, this tank aims a lot because it's fast, it traverses fast. The dispersion of the gun is just miraculously bad. You can't even, like, it doesn't make any sense. When you turn your hull, you have to aim for like 4 seconds. Well, when you turn your hull, maybe not, but when you stop from being on the move, you have to aim for 4 seconds at least. So gun leg drive, gun rammer, binos, kinda obvious. Screw skill wise, 6th sense obviously. Camo skill is better than repair in this, since you only have 900 hit points, you won't really get to use more than one repair kit and stay alive. So the repair skill doesn't matter that much. Other than the repair skill, obvious choice would be snapshot, smooth ride, situational awareness, recon. All the stats that are good with view range are good with this tank, really. The tank is super bad at anything that needs gun depression. The gun depression is -2, it's Chinese level of gun depression. You have to get used to. If you want to play the tier 10, you really have to get used to what you can do and what you cannot do with this gun depression, and you cannot do a lot of things. Another thing to note, the gun is a fucking potato. When you don't aim it fully, it will never hit shit. I like to take snapshots, you know how I play. I like to aim halfway and then shoot. With this tank, it's fucking useless. And the bad thing is, like, it's better to take a shot when you're not like, you stop, you shoot, and then you reload whilst aiming. So you get you might get lucky and hit the first shot, and then your second shot will be aimed. Bad thing about that is that you give your position away to the enemies. The good thing about it is that you get a chance to shoot your enemies more, but usually it doesn't happen because this gun fucking misses everything, which is annoying as fuck. And another thing, shooting on the move, you really have to watch the ground. If there's a little bump in front of you, your shot is going to heaven. You can never land shots on the move with this thing if there's the bumpy terrain. Well, obviously on complete flat surface you'll be able to do it, but not on a bumpy surface. So here are the end plate. 3,888 experience, doubled, ace tanker, high caliber, 1250 spotting / tracking, well, assistance, whatever, 3,990 damage done. This tank is shit. It really is. It doesn't fall into the most abysmal tank destroyer to play at tier 9, tier 8, because that category is already taken by the T-28s. It is still fucking horrible. It's like, you feel like you have shot yourself in the leg when you enter a battle in this tank. It really feels handicapped. It definitely cannot carry for tier 8 tank destroyers, tier 8 heavy tanks. You cannot, if your heavy tanks fail, you're done. This tank is not carrying a game on its own. So you need players like that. IS-3 in my team, he did a reasonable amount of damage, he didn't die, he spotted enemies, and I shot them, which is exactly what you need in this tank. When this thing gets put into tier 10 games, it feels even more useless, because the gun doesn't feel very effective anymore, and most people at tier 10 just don't let you shoot them without shooting you back, or at least pulling back if they cannot see you. So this tank becomes more of a scout for your big tanks than actual TD, which is awesome when you drive a TD with 900 hit points. You can expect to get 1 to 3 shotted, mostly 2 shotted though. But yeah, that's this tank. It's shit. I don't recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.